So as you guys have seen from earlier on Sunday night, done with Yu Yu Hakusho. Figured, let's talk about it. Go! Let's just talk Yu Yu Hakusho, my thoughts. Now, I believe where my halfway impressions left off was near the end of the Chapter Black saga. Not Chapter Black, but Dark Tournament saga. So up to that point, I had seen everything up until the end of Kurama's fight, and then after that, I didn't see anything else. So I guess we should talk about Hiei's and Kuwabara's and Yusuke's fight, Toguro and his whole spiel, and then the Chapter Black with Sensui and the Three Kings with Ryzen and Yomi and everybody and shit. I guess I should, but in retrospect, I don't know how the hell I was at the half point of the series halfway, considering how much shit happens after the fact. So I'm not gonna go really that much in depth about the characters and shit like I did the first time, because the first time was so I guess my full thoughts on the Dark Tournament saga. It's probably my favorite I have two favorites. In Yu Yu Hakusho, I have two favorites mainly just for two different reasons. I have one favorite is just pure for fighting and like shonen-esque, and then the other one's my favorite because of like deepness. Dark Tournament is my favorite, just like basic shonen type shit. Chapter Black is my favorite because it's probably the most thought-provoking, and I swear to God, when I got, I'm not gonna lie, Chapter Black is jarring as fuck, and you can't. I attempted to burn through it and got through all the way up until the point where where I think it was like it was a few I guess it's right when they get up there and Kurama fucks up Elder Toguro and shit. That's where I kind of took a break, because up to that point my mind was just tripping. Especially if you know what the shit with Amanuma that happened like a few episodes before. Yeah, that kind of fucked with me, so I had to take a break, and then, you know, I continued to complete the series. But anyways, going back to Dark Tournament. Dark Tournament. Kurama's fight is probably my favorite. And you're probably like, why isn't, you know, Kuwabara's and fucking Hiei's was good. I say Hiei's is my second favorite. Yusuke's was cool. The only thing I don't like about Yusuke is I kind of feel like Yusuke just kind of drags out a little bit too much, to the point where I'm like, okay, I get what they're doing, but it's getting like the in between shit when Toguro was like, oh, he's not fighting with his full potential. I need to do something, you know. But before he had made the decision to start killing people, he was just like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. Like, those scenes I thought was just a little excessive. Not too much, honestly. I do like the fact that at the end of the Dark Tournament, those characters that Yusuke fought, Yusuke and his team had went through during the Dark, they do reoccur later in the series. I thought that was nice. Kuwabara's fight was cool. I just kind of hate the fact that he ends his shit with a fucking floss water. That's what ruins that personally for me. Even though, and then on the top of that, he doesn't even beat Elder Toguro. That's what made it even more annoying. I will say he probably has the most badass moments in the saga. And when I found out that no one technically dies in the Dark Tournament, not officially. Well, let me rephrase that. Genkai officially dies, and they make Kuwabara seem like he dies, but he doesn't. So I'm just like, fuck you, J-Man, for even hinting that shit to me. In retrospect, I wasn't even thinking Genkai. Technically, I was kind of right, because I thought Kuwabara, you know, it kind of happens. And then then the whole thing with Toguro's backstory and everything, I thought that was pretty cool and shit. The only thing I kind of hated about that saga is I thought bringing Genkai back, like before I got to Chapter Black, I thought them re-bringing back Genkai was just retarded to me. Because I hate when they do that, when they bring Masters back. And then I found out Genkai actually does shit in Chapter Black, so I was like, alright, okay, it's justified. That's the only thing I hate, when you bring back characters and they don't do anything. But, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho doesn't make that mistake, and I thought that was pretty cool. So for the most part, I liked all of it. Zaguro stuff was pretty fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed the hell out of that fight. The only thing that kind of irks me about that fight is not even the fight, just Keiko's reaction to it just kind of got on my nerves. It's like, oh, you can't stand seeing Yusuke get beat up, even though the guy's known for fights. So you decide to black out in the middle of it. He's not even dead. That's what kills me. Like, it isn't like Yusuke dies at any point during the fight. It's just he's getting his ass kicked, and she just blacks out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that. This is where my caring of Keiko kind of declined. Like at the end of the series, I was glad she wasn't in the Three Kings saga because god damn it, she had kind of started irking me in Chapter Black because she kept going, I can't keep going through this. I can't keep going. Like, come on, you've been dealing with this since you two were little. Like, how are you not used to this by now? It's Yusuke. Come on. She started getting on my nerves. The whole importance of Kuwabara was not as what I was expecting. I was expecting Kuwabara to beat Sensui's ass, but what really it boiled down to was that Kuwabara just, he got them out, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, he's important, but he doesn't do much, and I kind of hate that during that Chapter Black is like, that pretty much the most he does in the series is pretty much Dark Tournament. He didn't do much. Like, Dark Tournament, Chapter Black were like his two best sagas because he's not even in Three Kings, which makes perfect sense. I do feel like, and for all the people, and from what I hear, Three Kings, a lot of people think Three Kings is rushed. You can fucking tell. Because Three Kings could have easily been like another 20, 30 episodes. And they put so much shit together with Three Kings. I will give Yu Yu Hakusho this. Yu Yu Hakusho is the only anime I can think of that made me think on that kind of level in the course of 112 episodes. I understand why the fuck Yu Yu Hakusho gets its props. That's one thing I cannot deny. That because Chapter Black mind fucked me, and then you got the Three Kings, and for Three Kings, it's as a rush saga. It's probably the best rush saga I've ever seen in my life, period. For a saga that's supposedly rushed. Now, a saga in itself is still pretty fucking goddamn good. The only two things I didn't get about the Three Kings saga was I got Yusuke's attachment and I got Kurama's attachment. Hiei's attachment kind of fucked me up. And what I'm referring to is like their attachments with their respectable kings. Like how Kurama and Yomi had this past and they ran together and shit. They were boys. And it made sense. With Ryzen, you know, past tense father. Oh yes, I guess I should talk about my reaction to the Moscow thing. That, I knew he had some type of demon transformation. Because I didn't spoil myself, but I had seen pictures. Like when you look up Yu Yu Hakusho on Google Images, you're going to see that picture of him looking all fucked up. And you're like, what is that? The Moscow thing isn't as where I was thinking it was going to be. I figured it to be something on a Bleach level. And then I realized, why the fuck would I make that comparison? How dare I even relate those two? How fucking dare I? It's not even close. Like, you know what? I will say Yu Yu Hakusho is the best representation of a demon side of a person. It's the best representation. I like it more than Yuyasha's. I like it way more than fucking Naruto's. I don't fucking mind Yusuke's. And Yusuke actually does something that I get every time I see the demon form of somebody kick the enemy's ass and it's not really them. He got pissed off. I get pissed off every time I see Demon Fox Naruto beat the shit out of someone, but it counts as Naruto's win. I like the fact that Yusuke got pissed off. That shit was, I was like, yes, we need to go beat this fucker's ass. You just ruined a fight. Fuck you, Demon Side. And if you really think about it, the ending of the series, I thought, it's funny. When you're watching Three Kings, you're not shocked at what happens in the final match. Because, well, not really final match, but see, that's the part of it felt rushed. The fact that, like, Yusuke shit wasn't even the final match, but it felt like the final match, but it didn't. Because it didn't, like, I feel like Sensui's battle, his battle with Sensui was better. Where, also, Sensui made me think so much. Like, I actually, like, as I said, there were points where I actually had to, like, just fucking turn off. like pause the DVD and like shut the laptop and just think, cause it just had me tripping on a moral level and shit. Like even the shit with the Amanuma and the whole game room master bullshit, that was ridiculous. The psychics and shit. I actually like the fact that the characters reoccurred and shit. I thought that was pretty cool. Chapter Black made me like. Chapter Black took me to. Chapter Black is long and jarring, but on the moral composition, it's worth it. Like if you were going into it for a shonen-esque, it's probably the least shonen-esque part of Yu Yu Hakusho, and I don't fucking mind that. It's one of those things that it's a good mix of what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to like challenge your mind, but it's supposed to still give you the action you want as a guy. And it does a fairly good job. I feel like the battles were a little much, and the homosexuality between Sensui and his, I forget the dude's name, but you know, his little gay lover who comes in there and takes his corpse away and shit. That fucker was weird. That fucker was weird. And Larry said something to me in a Skype call that makes perfect sense. He said that by the end of the series, by the beginning of the series, you had a black and white kind of deal. What was good and what was bad. By the end of Yu Yu Hakusho, you don't have that kind of mindset. Almost everything is in fucking gray with Yu Yu Hakusho by the end of it. I swear to God, I was like, what the fuck? Literally, because there's so much shit they throw at you. And that's why I swear after Dark Tournament it gets so much better. I remember him telling me that, and I agree with that. It gets so much fucking better. Chapter Black is one of those series. If you like, I'm a very intellectually stimulated person. Like I like to think. Obviously, if you see my videos, I like to think. So Chapter Black was like that's why I like it so fucking much, just because it challenges your moral composition and shit. I thought that was fucking awesome. I'm a little sad that Kurobara's doesn't do anything in the Three Kings saga, but I wasn't ticked. I was sad, but I wasn't mad. Like it made perfect sense why he went. He had no reason to be in that saga. The shit with Keiko at the end of the series, yeah, that's not a realistic relationship. Most girls don't put up with that, but most girls wouldn't even put up with that shit at a Dark Tournament, to be honest with you. Yeah, most girls would either say fucking a Dark Tournament or Chapter Black. Most girls. So the whole Three Kings wouldn't even fucking transpire. It was only 2 years. He came back like a year earlier or some shit. Oh man, I'm kind of curious what the fuck. The only thing I kind of wish I could see is what he was doing those 2 years. Because it wasn't like Yusuke couldn't get back. And I also like how at the end of the series they don't make the character overpowered. Like Yusuke didn't come out at the end of the series the strongest motherfucker on the planet. Like Dragon Ball Z. He actually just came out as him. And I thought that was pretty fucking cool. It was a certain level of it was more realistic. I'm still curious about the whole For Never or Forever thing. I'm still curious about what that means in itself. But I thought it was pretty fucking cool. I will say, but anyways, though, I guess I should address the last thing. The one main issue that I really had with the series and as a whole, but not really as a whole, but just with the Three Kings saga in particular, is their relationship with Hiei, and I forget the girl's, I forget the king or queen's name. Ah man, wrapped in bandages, was a slave. That shit with her and Hiei, that didn't work with me. That didn't work with me at all. That was like, what the fuck? The other, like, that in itself just didn't work with me. Because it's like, oh, Hiei, we learn more about Hiei's past. I was cool with that. Her past doesn't even seem that brutal compared to what his past is. And yet they try to have her related to him. It doesn't make sense. You grew up as a slave, you couldn't get the things off and just became strong through hatred. This motherfucker was abandoned as a baby. Grew up with thieves and bandits, became so fucking demonic and evil and shit. He scared away the only quote-unquote family he had and just wandered around trying to start fights and then realizing, like, his shit was more deep and complex. Like, even Ryzen's was simple, but it made sense. Yomi's was simple for the most part. It made sense, even though Yomi's probably, I think Yomi and Ryzen were handled pretty well. Yomi's shit kind of confused me with Yokurama. No, what? Damn, I keep calling Kurama Yokurama. This is what I get for not watching Yu Yu Hakusho, but meeting Yokorama beforehand, because now I can't stop calling Kurama Yokorama. But anyways, Kurama, the only thing about Kurama that kind of irks me is that whole switching in between identities crap that he does in his final match. That I didn't even know he lost. I thought he won that match, but apparently it was like a dual knockout or some shit. I don't even know, because you don't see him fight, so I'm figuring he lost. It was a double knockout. But like, for one, why would you have your Kurama fight Hiei's, like, why would you have him fight Hiei's doctor or surgeon for this three-way battle to like take place in his mind? And even then, they don't, like, they talk about it and it gets brought up the most in this saga, but it doesn't really get addressed the way I would like it to. Like, I felt like it was half-assed. And that's like, those are the parts of the Three Kings saga that I felt rushed. But let me see, how long have I been talking? Oh wow, I dragged this on for way too long. I'm gonna have to, damn, this sucks. I'm gonna have to cut shit out. Fuck. I didn't want to do that. Shit. Oh man, I don't want to make a part 2 though. Honestly, I could keep going. I really could. I would like to keep going personally, but because YouTube is taking away my 15-minute privilege, I might put this on TheInsaneGamefreak just because I want to just keep going a little bit more with it. But like, that was oh man, I did not intend this shit. Oh fuck it, whatever. But just that were the things about the Three Kings saga that irks me. But the series as a whole, I think its strongest plot is, I think its strongest point is its plot. I think, period, hands down, Yu Yu Hakusho has, period, the best fucking plot. And Shonen, it's one of the best plots, and I see why a lot of people put it as a number 1 or number 2. That as a Shonen series, kicked ass, just fucking kick ass. I wouldn't say I wouldn't watch it again, but I could see myself maybe in like a few months, maybe even a year, like revisiting certain episodes. Honestly, if there was anything I would probably revisit, I'd probably revisit Chapter Black like a motherfucker. I don't know why I like that. That is one of my Dark Tournament I would revisit for fights, honestly. Not really plot, I would just revisit Dark Tournament for fights. But as I said, Chapter Black is probably my favorite moral-wise and kind of intellectual-wise, whereas Chapter Black, Dark Tournament is my favorite fighting. But, fuck. Anything else? Me personally, the weakest point of the series, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this. I wasn't that huge of a fan of the music, and I said this is my halfway. I'm still not that big of a fan of the music, honestly. It's not bad. Like, there are a couple scores in there that sound really beastly and shit. Opening and endings, didn't really care for it at all. The openings, like, you kind of, it's the same damn song for 112 episodes. You kind of end up accidentally liking the song. Like, I still wouldn't put it on my iPod, but it's a decent track. I enjoyed the track. I think that's the weakest part of the show. Oh, one other thing I want to mention. Yes, Kurobar is still my favorite character. This is one thing I want to mention. I didn't like how they left Hiei at the end of the series, where Hiei literally was on this like suicidal bullshit where he was like emo and crap for a while, talking about he had no reason to live and like they had to wake each other up in their fight and crap, and then he just chilled around in Demon World, and she was like, oh, I can let you, you can go ahead and leave and I'll make sure no one follows you and shit. He's like, that's not why I stay. And I don't get that. I don't get what he ate. That's what pisses me off. They leave his ass in mystery. Everyone else gets addressed. You know, Keiko and Yusuke, Kurobar, they did like this time skip thing, I think 2 years. So they're like all 16, I believe. Yeah. Kurama, well, I don't know. I think they jacked up the animation for this episode. You can tell Kurama looked weird. Yeah, she looks like a girl somewhat. It kind of freaked me out. I do like the shit with Yukina. I kind of, That's the one thing. Now, I know this is a shonen, it's not about the romance, but I would not have minded if they had put Yukina and Kurobaru's relationship in there a little bit more. At least maybe if they put their relationship in there at the level of Yusuke's and Keiko's, or a little bit below that, I would have been fine. That's the only thing I kind of... That's not really a big deal since it's shonen. You really shouldn't worry about romance. But I don't know, I like that coupling. Keiko kind of gets on my nerves a little bit, so I'm neutral with her and Yusuke's relationship. I wasn't like, Yusuke, you're an asshole, you just left Keiko by herself. I was just kind of like, but I think that is everything. I think best arc I'm gonna say is probably Dark Tournament for me. Chapter Black is so close. The only thing that kills Chapter Black is the fights. It's the only thing with Chapter Black that I don't like is the fights. The lack of fights. Lack of good fights. But I say Dark Tournament is the best, and out of the worst is probably some of the beginning sagas, like the Saint Beast arc. I believe that. No, that's a lie. I like that arc. Oh man, it's the early arcs. I would say I probably said the Saint Beast arc, not because it's shitty. That's the problem thing. Like, you can't say the worst arc in Yu Yu Hakusho because there is no bad arcs in Yu Yu Hakusho. But I still like the Three Kings, even though it's rushed like all hell. I probably said the one of the early arcs is probably my least favorite. Yeah, that's probably the word I'm looking for. Least favorite. It's probably the Saint Beast arc because I don't care. Like, after you get through Dark Tournament and Chapter Black and Three Kings, you don't really give a fuck about the Saint Beast arc. You really don't. But I think I've rambled on for too long. This is probably like 20 minutes. Yeah, like 20-something minutes. So I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm gonna let you guys just enjoy this. For people who like long videos, here you go. People wanting my thoughts on Yu Yu Hakusho, here you go. Video responses are welcome. I'm sorry this isn't on the Gamemanic Channel. I had a lot to say, and it's Yu Yu Hakusho. You couldn't expect me to do don't expect me to do a short video on something on such a famous. It's like me. It's like talking about Dragon Ball Z and not going into it for like an hour at least. I can't do it. It's taking restraint just to stop here. But anyways, life's a game. Play to win. And I'll catch you guys later. Tell me your thoughts. Responses are welcome. And I need to shut the camera off. Oh God.